the United States of America gave rise to. It is to your benefit. Let this go on past you. I'm talking to the white man now.
Yes, sir.
It's to the white man's benefit to bless our departure.
Sir. Yes, sir.
For the whole wide world to see.
Yes, sir, Savior. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
We want our new name, nationality, identity to be afrodescendants.
Yes, sir.
That's what we want.
Yes, sir. That's correct.
The afrodescendants, that's what I signed on with.
Yes, sir.
To the UN, along with 18 other nations in the diaspora.
Yes, sir.
We are 28 nations. The UN, the United Nations, helped to gather all black people together.
Yes, sir.
After I heard, or they heard me.
Yes, sir. That's right. That's right, Savior. Yes, sir.
We got together, 19 nations along with me, and we came up with the name Afro-descendants. I didn't attend that meeting in Santiago, Chile. Your husband, is he here? Johnny. Johnny attended that meeting in Santiago, Chile, where they chose the name Afro-descendants. It's not me calling you Afro-descendants, it's us.
Yes, sir. That's right. Yes, sir.
I'm looking around for Colombia. I asked the brother who's here from Colombia to be present today. Are you here? I suppose he's not here. Uh, 19 nations. Cuba, I met one lady, she's been marooned, meaning that she's captured out on the island. They call it marooned. Haiti was there. Saba, Honduras was there. Brazil was there. All your people, all over the globe, attended the meeting put on by the United Nations to decide what we want to be called.
Yes, sir.
So it's not me giving the name, it's us giving the name. Afro-descendants. We wanted a name like those nationalities or identities of other nations, like the French,
Yes, sir.
the British, or German. What do those names say about us? Before we became African Americans. Our identity, national identity, was questionable. A nation of people absent their true nationality, identity, or racial name. Our original identity was lost. Just as prophecy foresaw. Our nationality was wiped out.
Indeed, sir. Indeed.
Because of death and a horrible fear imposed upon us, afflicted by the slave master. The whole wide world today is in big trouble. A world savior is prophesied to be born or expected to be born. Is it Minister Louis Farrakhan? Or former President Trump? Or President Biden of the United States of America? Or me, Silas Muhammad? It's a question I'm asking. I'm not big-eyed, big eye. I'm a little eye. We're asking, we black people, afro-descendants, are asking for compensation,
Yes, sir.
reparations. The new nation of us all. Are we included in your bargaining America for peace with Arabia?
Good question.
Are we included in your bargaining for peace with Arabia? It's a question we ask the white man. He is bargaining now for peace with Arabia. He protects Arabia. He has his soldiers and bases protecting Arabia.
Yes, he does.
He for oil.
Yes, he does.
But the oil is becoming scarce or obsolete. He does not need Arabia as much as he once needed Arabia. He's pulling out of Arabia, but he's bargaining with Arabia for peace. Are we included in your bargaining for peace with Arabia?
No, sir.
What about peace with us?
Yes, sir.
The original immigrant in America, before you deport the new immigrants in America. Deport the original immigrant in America before you deport the new immigrants in America. Amen. Amen.
Our nationality was willfully killed, murdered out of us during a long period of slavery in America. In us all. In America and the diaspora. Diaspora is a short way of saying all other countries where we have been lost. I, Cyrus Muhammad, I should tell you how I ended up with the name Muhammad. I have always, since about 7 years old, thought that I would be taking you back home.
Yes, sir.
I thought that since I was about 7. I didn't like the way we lived here
Yes, sir.
in the United States. Each time I see a woman or a man poor and helpless, pushing a cart or sleeping, walking on the ground, I knew it was the white man's doing.
Yes, sir.
Something he has done to us has us in the condition that we are in.
That's correct, sir. That's correct.
And I wanted myself to get out, but I wanted to get you out also.
Yes, sir.
I was in Sunday school and I read a story that God got Moses get the slave children out of their condition. I asked the Sunday school teacher, well, why don't God get a Moses to help my people? We need some help.
Yes, sir, without a doubt.
Teach.
Whole lot.
If God don't come and help get a Moses, I will.
Yes, sir. That's right. Yes, sir. That's right.
We needed a Moses.
Indeed, sir.
Teach.
And I would join the Nation of Islam about 1959, I believe. And my brothers were so nice to me. They gave me some respect, gave me dinner,
Yes, sir.
awful nice brothers. They were well organized. I was paying my zakat. I told the secretary, well, now you tell Muhammad that I'm here now. My brother hit me in the side. You talking to the secretary? Muhammad's secretary. You didn't say that. It was so well organized, down to a fine size, the Muslims were.
That's right. Right.
I liked the way they looked, the way they respected each other,
Yes, sir.
the way they respected me.
Yes, sir.
And I didn't believe ain't no black man got this kind of organization. No, I've seen a lot of black men, my daddy included, my grandfather included. But the organization of the Lost Foundation of Islam, they couldn't do that. No black man had the power to do that. In 1959,
Teach.
I swore that must be a white man back there somewhere. He would show up pretty soon. I had a Cadillac, so the minister and captains of the mosque, they made me the chauffeur, the nigger to pick up people at the airport and bring them into the city, or take them wherever they wanted to go. Messenger Muhammad was coming to Los Angeles in 1962. I had graduated to the point where I was given a post to stand. I say this very lightly because I don't want you to do what I did. I quit the post. I wanted to see Muhammad. I wanted to see the man who had this organization, the black man. I did not believe for 2 or 3 years, or 3 years, that no black man got this organization. The white man back there somewhere running this thing, the Lost Foundation of Islam. And I forget the name of the building where Elijah Muhammad, Messenger Elijah Muhammad, was speaking, but I was to stand a post far away from him. I quit that post and went and took a seat because I wanted to hear the man, Elijah Muhammad. I sit among the lost and found, hiding. If Captain Edward had seen me sitting out in the audience and not on my post, he would had my hand. But I did just to see Elijah Muhammad. I saw him. I don't remember what he said, but I tell you, I've never seen a black man that clean. I mean, clean and dressed. His face looked like he was never a little boy outside playing in dirt and mud. He was clean and he was humble. I listened to him. Then and there, sitting in the audience, I gave up my dream. I gave up my aspirations to be the one to take you home. Because Elijah Muhammad, messenger Elijah Muhammad, was the man. All about him said he was. On first sight of him, I submitted all my dreams, all my hopes, of my BI to him, Elijah Muhammad. Then I stopped looking for a white man running things. Oh,
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah, I entertain your question. Is the question?
Yes, sir. I'm Jamal Sharif out of Detroit. I live in Police now. I'm the one that visited your house over in St. Kitts. And you never asked me why I came over there. But you was touching down on something, you know, about the white man. You look for him to be out there in the audience. Do you think he could possibly send somebody else in there, like an agent or something, that look like you?
In fact, he does send him in here. He's in here right now. I am trying to convert him too. Huh?
What do I need to do to have 5 minutes, which I've been here like 27 years? I would like to have a 5-minute conversation with you. If possible, I came to your house. I mean, what do I need to do?
You came all the way to St. Kitts?
Yeah, you know I came to St. Kitts. I told you. Yeah, I came from Police to St. Kitts. And nobody told you I came.
Let's have
Then I told you.
I'm going to be here for dinner, and we're talking.
All right, that's fine. Thank you.
Amen.
Come on, teach your lesson, dear.
Stay on course, nigga. Stay on course.
Wake us up this Savior.
Yes, sir.
Wake
Stay
us
on
up.
course. Stay on course.
I am a human being with feelings as like you. Labeled lost bound. Lost bound. how do I feel about that statement, lost found?
Good question.
The word lost, in the common sense of the word, means we have no knowledge of our original identity or race. It's gone. That knowledge has left us our mother tongue. The tongue that your people spoke,
The original dialect, yeah.
your original nationality.
Right.
It was not English.
Exactly.
Term bound meaning to mean we have been bound,
Yes, sir.
resurrected by Allah and his last messenger, Elijah Muhammad.
Yes, sir.
Lost found nation was on the world stage under Elijah Muhammad.
Yes, sir.
God Allah, under the name Mr. W.D. Farad Muhammad. This history of Jesus and his mother is a history of the so-called negro. That's us. The history of Jesus and his mother, Messenger Muhammad says that he was taught that history is the history of a so-called Negro who have been lost. When I read that word lost, I said, I'm thinking just like the messenger.
Listen.
I had finished my lecture, and on my lecture was saying that we are a lost people, lost nationality. But I see that the messenger is saying that also. He too is saying you are lost. For 400 years, now you have been found and must be returned to their own, or else every Western Christian government will be brought to naught by the great W.D. Farad Muhammad,
Yes, sir.
the mighty Mahdi,
Yes, sir.
the Son of Man, Allah in person.
Yes, sir.
This is the teachings of Messenger Elijah Muhammad. You can find this that I have just said to you 10, 5, 57. He said that long ago? 57? 1957. In Pittsburgh, Korea.
Yes, sir.
Here the messenger is saying, he is the mother of Jesus.
Yes, sir. That's right. Listen.
Not Jesus himself, but the mother of Jesus.
Yes, sir. That's right.
I intend to correct that
Yes, sir. Say.
among my people.
Yes, sir.
It's already corrected in me. We can have a discussion, and I show you everywhere he said that he is the mother of Jesus. Not Jesus himself, but the mother of Jesus. Last messenger further stated, I have this in quotes. But I don't want to be so smart and taking over naming the people. That's Messenger Muhammad talking. He don't want to be so smart and taking over naming the people. We was named Lost Found Nation.
Yes, sir.
What are you talking about, Messenger Muhammad?
Make it clear, say.
You are saying you don't want to be so smart and taking over the naming of the people. I thought we was Lost Found Nation.
Yes, sir.
You mean another name?
Make it plain, sir.
I, quoting a quote again, I expect him here soon.
Listen.
And I don't want him to come and catch and find me taking over his job.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. My water bottle. Yes, sir.
Naming the nationality of you. The new people. Messenger is not speaking of the great Mahdi establishing a new name for you. A new nationality, which you do need, like the French, German,
Yes, sir.
British, they got their name. You are a lost found people, but that's not your real nationality.
Listen.
We are lost found people, but that's not the name of our nationality. That's the people that have been lost from their home, lost from their nationality, lost from their identity, but heritage. But now that you are found, what's your real name? Messenger is saying he's not going to name the people. Our racial identity was lost. Said by the messenger. Our group has had 4 name changes in my life.
Listen, listen.
4 name changes in my lifetime. And I am only now 85 years old. And when I was 7 or 3, I was a nigger or a negro. Then I was a colored. Then the name changed to African Americans. I did not accept that name. I became a Mexican. Yeah. I became at 9 or 10 or 11 years old. I was still, I was a Mexican. I hung out with Mexicans in Tijuana, Mexico. I didn't want to be no nigger. I didn't want to be no negro. I didn't want to be no colored person. I became a Mexican. I spoke Mexican. I speak a little Mexican now. A carryover. I started telling you how I got the name Muhammad. I saw Muhammad, Elijah Muhammad, and seeing him, not talking to him, hearing him teach, I canceled all of my dreams and all my hopes of being the person to take you back home. On first sight, I decided your dreams are not worth nothing. Get rid of them. He is the man.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
And to 85 years old, I married Harriet Muhammad. I planned on marrying her, Harriet Muhammad. When she came to Los Angeles to find me, brother, what is your name? Hmm? Oh, I thought you were Cornell West. Yeah. That's who I thought you were. Yeah.
I look a little better than you.
She was married to Akbar Muhammad, the messenger's baby son. They were over in Egypt, and my wife decided to leave him. She left him, came back to Chicago, Then she visited out to L.A. to find me. She was still wearing the name Harriet Muhammad. I saw her. I was attracted to her. I wanted to marry her, but I did not want to give her my name, Bell, B-E-L-L, Bell. How would you marry a woman who had the name Muhammad and give her the name Bell? Yeah. I said, no, I need another name. I'm not going to reduce her to what I am. I began to read the life of Prophet Muhammad. And I saw the name Abu Bakr. And I liked the name Abu Bakr. And Bakr, it rocks me. I hired a lawyer, went to court, and had my name changed from Bell to Abu Bakr. Then I married her and gave her my name, Abu Bakr, not Harriet Bell. I got more sense than that. I got a little sense. To reduce her down to Bell? Hell no. Then I'm invited to go see Muhammad. Harriet's ex-father-in-law. I said, I better change the name of Bakr. I'll say, cut off Abu and just say Bakr. I'm Cyrus Bakr. Because I didn't want Elijah Muhammad to see me with the name Abu Bakr. He doesn't know exactly who Abu Bakr was or is. He's a dummy. I'll just say Bakr, Cyrus Bakr, Harriet Bakr. We got into Chicago from LA about 11 something. Then Muhammad Ali's manager, Herbert, was sent to the airport to pick us up. Harriet knew him. I don't know Herbert. And he come to talking. Y'all were coming here this 8 hour. It's late. You coming here at 11 o'clock at night? My daddy's been up all day working. You should come in here earlier than you come in here. I'll take you on to the house, but you come in here much earlier than 11 o'clock. We arrived at the messenger's house, I believe, maybe 11:30 or 12, 11:45, but close to 12 o'clock. The messenger was sitting up in his living room with his legs crossed. I said, what? He got his legs crossed. I'm taught Muslim men don't cross their legs. He got his legs crossed. He said to me, gave me the greeting. He talked to my wife, Harriet. You met your match this time, he said to my wife. He raised Akbar, that's his blood son. But he's saying you met your match this time. I didn't meet Akbar. Some 20 or 30 years later, I hadn't met Akbar. Yeah, she met a match this time. He said to me, you are a very pretty brother. You must have taken after your mother. I didn't know what to say to that. I think that was in '64. Shortly after I married to Harriet, no, 2 or 3 years after I married to Harriet, we get a letter from him, or I went to jail, about 3 months in jail, doing the What's Right in Los Angeles. Well, he mailed a letter out to my apartment where we were living in Los Angeles, asking my wife and me to relocate to Chicago. Not a penny in the letter. I got to come out of my own pocket to get to Chicago. Me and my wife. I think that was in '64, '65. We did move back to Chicago, relocate, and I am in his house living with him for about 2 or 3 months. Every day, he'd have dinner about 4 o'clock every day. Well, on this particular day, he asked me to walk with him back to the back porch of his house. I walked with him alongside his house. He could not make it all the way. He had to stop and rest for a moment, leaning up on the wall of his building. He said to me, I hate that I did not do everything that Allah told me to do. He told me to get out and do some exercising. and I didn't do that. I'm tired now. I hate that I did not do that. At this time, he's about 67 or 68. He's telling me what Allah had told him. And we finished walking. We made it to his back porch. On his back porch there were 2 chairs. One was a plain chair. He chose that one for me. The other one was a rocking chair. He took that for himself. And he was talking to me about something. I don't know what. But he stopped and turned toward me and said, while turning toward me, he said, "Brother, I know you're not my son, but I feel like you are my son."
Oh, praise his name.
That's what he said to me directly. And I was saying to myself, no, I'm not nothing like you. I still gamble. I sneak off and go to Las Vegas. I gamble, play some horses, play some dogs. I'm talking to myself. He's saying that I'm like him. I'm saying to myself, no, you're nothing like, no, I'm nothing like you. But just as I gave up my dreams when I first saw him, so everything that I believed that I would do in my older life, when I first saw him, I gave all of that up. It appears to me that when he first saw me, he is making some decisions as well that I'm able to see now that I didn't see back then. About 3 or 4 months or 5 months later, he called me and I want you to go and run the bakeries for me. I did. He would come to the bakeries about 3 days out of every week. I thought he's checking to see if I'm here, or he's checking to see if we got cookies or cakes. I know now he was coming checking on me.
Yes, sir.
He told me, come to the house. Gave him a time. I drove 20 minutes to get from the bakery to his house. And he would always drink coffee at 11 o'clock. Come about 11 o'clock, he told me. It took me about 20 minutes to drive down to Woodlawn. I went in, took my seat at the dining table, had the waitress bring me a cup of coffee had tripped it just like I like it. Had taken one sip out of it while he was talking. He said, now, brother, I want you to not use the name Baka no more. It wasn't, Abu was known that. It is Baka. He don't know the difference between Abu Bakr or Baka. He's a dummy. I'm talking about the messenger of Allah. He said to me, I don't want you to use your name anymore. From now forward, I want you to use my name, Muhammad. Use my name, Muhammad. Emmanuel Muhammad, his oldest son, sat at the foot of the table. He sat at the head of the table. I sat to his right, just the three of us in the room. And he tells me, from now forward, use the name Muhammad. I said, what about my first name, Silas? He said, well, you keep that name. Just change the last name to Muhammad.
All praises to him. All praises.
I had taken one sip of coffee. You can go now. I wanted more coffee. Get out. I got up. Emmanuel, his oldest son, walked me to the door. He tells me, your name, Muhammad, is a blessing and a protection. Well, I understood the blessing. I don't understand the word protection, but now I know. And he gave me the Muslim embrace. I drove back 20 minutes to the bakery. Wallace Muhammad was over the bakeries. He had 3 bakeries. I was placed in charge of Wallace. I would say to Wallace, I don't have to be a boss over you. You can keep on working here, but I am the manager. We can share. He stayed there about 3 or 4 weeks, and then left, went back into the grave. Wallace Muhammad did. That's how I ended up with the name Muhammad. This happened when I'm about 28, maybe 29. I was not in my 30s yet. And all of this is happening to me. I don't know what it's all about or what to do. I had even to learn how to run the bakery and deal with Junior and deal with Wallace. Junior is the other son of Messenger Elijah Muhammad. Junior is the assistant supreme captain.
Yes, he was.
We had some time, me and Junior. Well, that's all right. You need not know that. Junior wanted to be the boss of everybody. I didn't. I had maybe 5 or 6 brothers working in the bakery. I thought I had charge of them. I'm manager of the bakeries. They are workers in the bakery, making donuts, cakes, everything that you buy in a bakery. We sold that. And there are 5 or 6 brothers. I think I'm in charge of the bakery. I'm in charge of you. Junior walked into the bakery. He's kicking out some orders. I politely told him I'm the manager of the bakery. He stood back, and I stood back. And he said, "Down, brother, down." He was in charge of the men in the bakery. I didn't know that. Those brothers were about to kick my butt. They would have, if he had not told them, cool down. I later on gained respect for the brothers. They gained some respect for me. And I ran the bakeries, 3 bakeries, for the rest of the time I was in Chicago. I had no more fights, not a fight, physical fight, but verbal fight with Junior anymore, the assistant supreme captain. A new nationality is what you need. A new identity. You are a new people. You are not colored.
No, sir.
You are not a negro.
No, sir.
You are not Afro-American.
No, sir.
Those names do not identify you. You are a lost nation. your new nationality or name is afro-descendant.
Yes, sir.
You can be, if you want to, well, a negro, if you want to call yourself that. You can be a colored boy if you want to. You can be African American if you want to be called that. But in addition to that, you are much more than that.
Yes, sir. That's correct, sir.
You are an Afro-descendant, included. Thanks to those other nations who heard me speak to them, experts at the UN. And thanks to the UN, the United Nations in Geneva, Switzerland. They did that, which makes good common sense. I am a human being. That's what I was saying to them. You have studied, you have decided upon human being everywhere have the right to be a human being. I am a human being.
Yes, sir.
As I stood there before them, they had worked on human being in the 1950s and decided that human rights for human beings everywhere on earth, as long as he is a human being, he has our protection. Each and every human being has the protection of the United Nations. Thanks to the working group in the United Nations. That's who I was speaking before. I should pause for a moment. At least I gave you the impression that I'm out there by myself. I'm not out there alone. My wife went first. My wife, Harriet Masaki, Harriet Abu Bakr. I sent her out there first and before me. She is learning all about the United Nations and come back and tell me where to go, who to speak to, where should I begin. As I said before, the United Nations, out there, she found a man named Dr. Clyde. Dr. Clyde is dead now. She tells me that she told a white woman from the State Department, U.S. State Department, that she's out there. Are you going to come and tell them Huh? Huh? I'm asking for some relief. Well, she told this white woman that she's being introduced to this white person that's from the government here, and she's introduced to the white person by a UN official, but the person spoke French. Yeah, and he is speaking in French to the woman. My wife is listening to him and not understanding what he is saying. And when he finished telling her, she's out there to get reparations, get it started.
Yes, sir.
The white woman said, wait until the United States hears about this. Well, she came back and told me, Dr. Klein, she went to where is it? Where is it from, Dr. Klein? He's but he's in some other country now.
He was in Canada.
Canada. And same question. Yeah, she went there and found him, and he came down and spent some time with me for about 2 weeks or better. He brushed me up on the UN. He would be the first black man to go out into the UN. And he eventually set up a little, what you call it? NGO himself.
Yeah, Iran.
Iran.
Right.
And actually, we were with his
Yep,
Iran for about
in the early 90s, everything in there up until 97. I think you lasted about until 95 with Iran. And then you asked me to create Pure because it wasn't working out.
but I got my start from Dr. Clyde, who you don't hear too much about, but he would be the first black man to go to the UN and live out there for about 10 years and created our NGO.
Yeah, the NGO.
NGO. Well, I did put the Lost Foundation under his banner, Iran, for about 2 years.
The 1503 petition went in under his NGO.
I'm just pointing out to you, I and my wife were not the first black people to go through the UN. There's a man who preceded us out there, who did a great work for you. Human being. They came up with the idea, human rights for everyone, everywhere. Then I decided to tell them that I am a human being. with some other information. As I stood there before the experts in the United Nations. Where's my briefcase? Get the Bible out of there. Genesis 15, verses 12 and 13. At verse 12, and it was when the sun was going down, a deep sleep fell upon Abraham. Lo, and horror, a great darkness fell upon him. Verse 13, and he presumably, he's talking about God, said to Abraham in verse 13, and he said unto Abraham, know of a surety that thy seed shall be a sojourn. The word sojourn means a stranger in a land that is not theirs.
That's it.
And they shall afflict them. And they shall afflict them for 400 years.
Yes, sir.
In his book, Bible. In my opinion, we are that people
Yes, sir.
that the Bible speaks
Yes, sir.
of.
Yes, sir.
We've been here for 400
Yes, sir.
years
Yes,
and
sir.
better.
That's right, Savior. Yes, sir. That's real. We are that people. Yes, sir.
That's prophecy.
Yes, sir.
It meets you. It looks like you.
Yes, sir.
Me and you.
Yes, sir.
Us. We have been here in America for 400 plus years.
That's right.
And we have been afflicted.
Yes, sir.
So much so that we have lost our nationality. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
prophecy meets us. We match that prophecy.
Indeed. Yes, sir. Indeed.
At 3 years old, I'm in Marlin, Texas. My mother and father have broken up, and I'm visiting with my father in Marlin, Texas. Walking on a plank sidewalk. 3 years old, and my father grabs me and pulls me off of this plank sidewalk. I'm letting you know how low Marlin is. And a plank sidewalk. He pulls me off the sidewalk to let these white men pass. And I'm, Daddy, what are you doing? Pulling me off to let these white men walk past on the sidewalk, plank sidewalk. Why can't I walk on the sidewalk? My daddy is pulling me off the sidewalk to let the white men pass at the age of 3. That bothered me then. I know it now. I remember it now. As I stood before the experts in the UN, United Nations, I am a human being. You are here to protect the rights of human beings everywhere around the globe. We were placed into slavery and we were afflicted for 100 years. I have another book in my briefcase, but I believe that I have tried to show you my heart, show you me.
Yes, sir.
I know you. I have been with you for 85 years. I've been right there with you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Did everything that you did.
Yes, sir.
Do everything that you do. So I know you, you know me.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All praise the beautiful.
I'm trying to touch your heart like the messenger touched my heart.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
He was a man. I never met another man like him.
That's right, sir.
I have been taught all my life by older men. Elijah Muhammad. He's the first man I have ever seen. Black man, just like you. Well, was like you
Yes, sir.
before he met the messenger, W.D. Farad Muhammad,
Yes, sir.
the great Mahdi,
Yes, sir.
who taught the messenger I never met a man like the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. He was the man. My wife is not afraid to go into court. She looked at the white man as not a man. Mr. Muhammad was a man.
Yes, sir.
No other white man can tell her, my wife, to do anything. That's where I found Sir William Muir's book on the Prophet Muhammad. In Messenger Muhammad's library, one of the books that he was advised to read. There's a note here in my notes. This reminds me of that scene of Kuti Kinsey. You remember him?
Yes, sir.
He was beaten by a white man telling him that your name is Toby. My name is Kuti Kinsey. No, your name is Toby. The white man not only beat Kuti Kinsey, beat the identity out of Kinsey Kuti as to who he was. He beat us all. Your identity is afrodescendant. We have been bound. We now know who we are, afro-descendants. It is the life we have in common, afro-descendants. I searched the records for where and the name of the first man who founded the meaning of the term nationality. I wanted to know, did God give us a nationality? Or how did we get the name? A nationality, where did it come from? At best, I found two men discussed an issue while drunk. And they discussed the same issue while sober. It was uncovered that people who look somewhat alike and live in the same area and share in similar things are said to be of the same nationality. This is spoken from an American mind. Now, we're looking to our intelligence sensing and well-intelligent minds, well-trained minds of black people, like my wife, Queen Masaki. Harriet Abubakar Esquire. My daughters, Amel, who was a school teacher, and Amira Esquire, Julie Walker Esquire, Gabwa, Dr. Akila Mokaram, Dr. Tahida Sabri, Malik Zulu Shabar, Esquire,
Yes, sir.
and those who have extremely educated physicians, the doctors, lawyers, judges, and upper class administrators to help guide our government, our lost found youth, our children. I, Silas Muhammad, am only to call you to be born again. You know that term. In a new nationality. That's my job. Is to get you into a nationality and identity. Once again, born again, awaken again. Will you help me?
Sir.
All of you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's right. Yes, sir.
Only the messenger said he was the person giving birth to his followers. The Messiah. And the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said he is not the Messiah.
No, sir.
He is the mother of the Messiah.
That's right. Yes, sir. That's correct.
10, 5, 57. He made that statement in Pittsburgh Courier. Also, page 27, last paragraph. Message to the Black Man, 1965. You are afro-descendant.
Yes, sir.
Say it.
Afro-descendant.
Say it.
Afro-descendant.
Shout it.
Afro-descendant. Afro-descendant. Yes, sir.
Salam alaikum. I'll see you at this time. I'll be here.
Long live Muhammad. 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 Long live Muhammad.
the lecture and tell people I love them.
Yes, sir. We love you, Saint. We hear you.
You may be seated. The Honorable Silas Muhammad has been trying to communicate to us, and I'm hoping that he got his message across to all of us, and that is that we are lost people. I just want to play one excerpt, maybe about a minute or something, from a video of a middle-class so-called American Negro, or an American. Well, he don't know who he is, and you're going to find out. But it is to show you how we are lost people. We don't know who we are. Our identity is gone. Now listen, Negro, the Caucasian man gave us that name, knowing that it meant dead, something lifeless, something that has no power outside of itself to move it. The only power outside of a Negro that had the power to move a Negro was the white man, until the coming of Master Farad Muhammad. And when he came, there was a paradigm shift in our thinking. So we want to show you emphatically how our people are lost, all the way from the bottom to the very top of our educated people. We are all lost because, as Billie Holiday said, strange fruit, bitter crop. What makes you bitter? You have no rights as a human being. You should be bitter. What makes you bitter? Seeing the atrocities of your people being murdered. What makes you bitter? Because you, man, stood there with a horrible fear and let your identity be destroyed. Just like taking a man or a woman and strangling them until the breath comes out of them, until there's no more life in them. There lays a dead body. That's you. Because they stole your culture. They destroyed your culture. They destroyed your language. They took from you what made you a human being. You're not a human. I know you think you are, but this is why Silas Muhammad and those 18 leaders went before the UN to do what? To restore us as human beings. Because everyone on this planet has something that you and I don't have, and that is the right to speak their mother's tongue. Can you speak yours? Do you have your own name like the Italians have theirs? No, you don't. Do you have your own religion like every other nation has theirs? No, you don't. Because it was murdered in you. It was strangled out of you because of a horrible fear of what would happen to you. And what is that horrible fear? Where did that horrible fear stem from? You watching the white man string up your black woman pregnant and bring all of the other slaves around and cut her stomach open and let the baby fall out there and smash her head with his heel. That was horrible. It instilled into you. It instilled into those black women that were pregnant that saw that a horrible fear. So black man, you didn't do nothing. Why? Because you was afraid. Fear gripped you. And as a result, we lost our identity. We don't know who we are. So we're trying to find ourselves. The white man called us a Negro. Making mockery of us. That's a mockery. Oh, William W.E.B. Du Bois, that's what he called us too. He's an educated black man. But yet he accepted Negro, is that right? Martin Luther King, Reverend Ralph Abernathy, Marcus Garvey, they all accepted that name Negro, which means dead, lifeless, no power. We are dead people because our identity is gone. Well, it's over, brother. It's over, sister. We want the black man. She's here for your rise. Black man, you got to stand up. Stop letting people beat all on your woman. You left her alone, running for the white woman. Where's your heart? She's looking for her man. She's looking for Lazarus to rise. Rise up, Lazarus. Accept your new identity. Afro-descendant, Afro-descendant, Afro-descendant. I will forever be an Afro-descendant, and I'm proud of it. And you should be proud of your new identity as well. Because you're not a Negro, you're not a colored man.
That's right.
What are you looking for? You done went from Negro, colored man to what? To Black American. I remember from Black American to what? Afro-American. What are you looking for? You're looking for something that was destroyed in you, something that was killed, your identity. But you're not finding it because Negro doesn't identify with you. Color doesn't identify with you. Black American doesn't identify with you. African American? How can you be an African American when you are neither African nor American? Play that video, my beloved. Listen to this.
The following program is from NET, the National Educational Television Network.
I'd like to live in a tree-lined street. I'd like to have a summer home on the lake. I'd like to have a yacht and belong to a North Shore Yacht Club. I like to wear suits from Brooks Brothers. All Americans, and I'm American. We think this way. There's no other way to think. I can't think African. I can't think Irish. I can't think Norwegian. I have to think with in the society in which I live, which is a white society. So their values are imposed on me, and I think this kind of way. I don't think of myself as being a Negro. Never until recently have I really been concerned that I am a Negro. I thought all the while that I was an American.
Cut it off. Did you hear that? He thought he was an American. This is an intelligent middle-class black man, educated, got up into the white world, living good, wearing Brooks Brothers suits. He thought he wasn't an American. But check this out. He was concerned that he was a Negro. Why is you concerned that you're a Negro? Because a Negro is a bitter crop. A Negro is a strange fruit. Black bodies hanging from trees. Those are our ancestors, our people that was hanging from trees. Strange fruit. What makes fruit strange? Meaning it's abnormal. You don't normally see human bodies hanging from trees. That's an abnormal fruit. A human fruit. We're lost. And that's why Mr. Silas Muhammad and those 18 leaders got together among themselves because we had to make a decision. The men and the women had to make a decision. If we're not Negroes, if we're not colored, if we're not Black Americans, if we're not Afro-Americans, if we're not African American, then who and what are we? Jesse Jackson said, I am somebody. Yeah, but who? Everybody is somebody. We need an identity, and that's where this man, Silas Muhammad, and those 18 other brave leaders, men and women, stood up and said, the buck stops here. We're going to define ourselves, and we're not going to let anyone else define who we are. We must define our own selves. Nobody cares about us. Nobody loves us. We all came from that bitter crop, brothers and sisters. All of us are bitter. To see our children being murdered. To see our women just running loose out there with no guidance at all. To see the black man running for every white woman he could find. And because you don't have enough kahunas to stand up and unite and let's be a nation. He, Silas Muhammad, is calling upon all of our professionals. We need your minds. I know I'm not no professional, but I know we need your minds. I told Minister Johnny, I say, brother, I'm proud of you and Akila Mukaram because you're educated. We need educated black men. We need educated black women. All of the information and knowledge that we have acquired up under the white boy, we need to come together and use that knowledge, pull that knowledge together, and build a government for ourselves. We don't need the white boy. He needs us. We don't need him. Look at the great inventors that we've created among ourselves. We don't need the white man. He needs us. We are the greatest people on this earth. All we need to do is unite, come together. You don't have to be a Muslim. We want you to be one, but if you don't want to be one, that's cool with us. If you want to get back at your oppressor, if you really want to get him, we say to you, become an Afro-descendant. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Don't let that same horrible fear that caused you to stand by and watch your identity be destroyed because you was afraid that you were going to die. The white man put that fear in you. Sir, will you have that water, please? He put that fear in you. Are you still afraid?
No, sir.
I can't hear you. I know I ain't afraid. When I found out that I was an Afro-descendant, it beats proudly in my chest. I know who I am now. Oh, you always knew you was. No, a Muslim is not my identity. Afro-descendant is my identity. It's yours too, because it gives all of us something in common. All of us was brought from Africa over here to the Western Hemisphere for what? To be made slaves. All of us was treated wrong by the Europeans. Is that right? We have that in common as a people. But the Caucasian white world made us hate each other. Turned us against one another. It's over. It's over. And black man, once you make the decision that it's over, then it is over. Now, will you make the decision? We have enough black men right in here now that if you made the decision that you will be an Afro-descendant from here to eternity, then we can get other black men and women because we're going to spread the word. You can get 40, 10, however many. Spread the word. Afro-descendant is the real and the new reality. A new nation of people is emerging on the scene today. Oh, yes. I'm so proud. We got a nation now. We have a president. Oh, yes, we do. She's right here. The president of the new government. We have a constitution that is rooted in truth, freedom, fairness, justice, and equality. Now, what black man or woman don't want that when you've been treated with the antithesis of that all our lives? We'll give ourselves justice. How about that? We'll use our educated minds, our educated legal minds to come together and create an impeccable legal system that will give every man and woman freedom, justice, and equality, fairness in our new government. That's what we want. Don't you want that? Aren't you tired of begging a white man?
Yes, sir.
Who you gonna go to when whoever get elected? Trump? Biden? None of them like you. You're going from the, as Malcolm said, from the wolf to the fox. I'm not choosing either one of them to rule over me. This is who I choose, President Akila Mukaram. Because she got my best interests at heart. Democrats nor Republicans never loved you. They make fools of our people. Now, I want to show you something. Some years ago, there was integrationists opposing the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, fighting hard to integrate us. It destroyed our family. Integration destroyed our family. But check this out. All of those who opposed the Honorable Elijah Muhammad when he was talking about separation, a nation, today they're saying we made a mistake. It's too late, man. We were trying to tell you then. Integration is a mistake. So we're telling you now. Afro-descendant nation is the only way to go. You are at a fork in the road. White man, black nation. There is no middle ground. Are you afraid of a nation, your own? Brothers and sisters, we can get along with one another. We can get along with one another. It's just that living inside of America and how America had destroyed us and made us an ugly people. Is why we hate one another right now, why we're quick to kill one another. No, I don't want to kill. I used to be a gangbanger. Oh, I was out there beating my people up, hitting my chest. proud to be a gang member. It was a song that I heard that changed my thought processes about that. As a young man, it was Marvin Gaye, What's Going On? When I heard that, the thought started turning in my mind. I want to help black people. I want to do something. So I went to the Black Panthers and I said, I want to be a Black Panther. I want to kill the pig. They looked at me and said, they laughed, but I was serious. I wanted to kill the white man. I was angry at him. But I was only, 10 years old? But I love my people. Silas Muhammad loved his people. All of the Muslims, we love black people. We love you so much that we say you don't have to be a Muslim to be in the Afro-descendant nation. Just accept your new identity. Do that, and then we can go far. We can go farther than we ever been as a nation of people. We should lift our voices up so loud, so long, until it sounds like thunderclaps, shaking every nation on earth, putting them on notice that the Afro-descendant nation is here to stay. We want our human rights. We want reparations. We want every nation to know the new nation is born. There was a young man, a Muslim, that asked to send a greeting to you, Savior. He's not with Minister Louis Farrakhan, but he's blasting Minister Louis Farrakhan out there on social media. He wanted to send you the greetings and say Happy Savior Day to you and all of the believers here. So I told him I'd pass that message on. Billie Holiday, Strange Fruit, Bitter Crop. When you get home, listen to that. And you can see that that's coming from only a black person. Only a black person could have sang it like that.
That's right.
Right now, what I'd like to do is I'd like to let you know this, that we're on our way home. Reparations. What we want? Land, money, ships, airplanes. In fact, if you can give the state of Israel billions of dollars every year, finance Ukraine, give the new migrants, the migrants that are coming in, give them and treat them better than they treat you, which they're descending you into the level of fourth-class citizens now. And what can you do but pout? Because he know you ain't got nowhere to go. The migrant can go back to where they came from. Where can you go? You have to take it. Until you stand up and be an Afro-descendant. Once then, we could force America to the table of negotiation for reparations, not as her underlings, but as her equals. That's why you should be an Afro-descendant. Don't be afraid. Don't let that horrible fear cause you to miss out on this grand opportunity. Your children are watching, and they will be asking, what did you do? You sat at home and watched TV. You went to the movies and did this, all insignificant things that have nothing to do with those unborn children that's coming. We should have a nation ready for them. But the buck have to stop with us right now. Let's get the work done. I'm going to call our conductor forward, Malik Zulu Shabazz. I believe you may have a few words to speak, sir. This is what I was informed of.
Assalamu alaikum. I don't have much to say because I don't think it's proper to say much after the Honorable Silas Muhammad has spoken. That's just the way I'm trained. I don't speak after the leader has spoken. So I thank you though for asking me to speak, and I thank you. But I just want to say that I love the followers of the Honorable Silas Muhammad. I love the Lost Found Nation of Islam. I love the Afro-descendant nation. I love my president, the Honorable Akila Mukarram. I love Minister Najee. I love Minister Khan. I love all of y'all, and I appreciate the warm love that y'all have shown to me and those that are trying to help our people get reparations. And that's what I'm here for. I'm here to give everything I got as a lawyer, as an organizer, as a freedom fighter, to get our people full and complete reparations. That's what I'm here for.
That's right.
So I just want to say as I leave that I'm honored that you have, honored to have your support, that in Washington, D.C. on May the 17th through the 19th, the Afro-descendant nation will be in Washington, D.C. for our National Reparations Convention. And I do want to bring you greetings from organizations, black organizations from around America and around the world that have sent the greetings here to the Honorable Silas Muhammad, wishing him well and wishing their support. They are from throughout America. And I am here to say that some of the best and the brightest and the strongest of our organizations and our leaders, that they are coming to and coming around the Afro-descendant nation, and they're coming around our elder, our pioneer who has stood for decades and decades. They are coming around the Honorable Silas Muhammad, and I see new things coming. So I just want to say to everybody, I want y'all to be at our convention, May 17th through the 19th in Washington, D.C. Do all you can. We're expecting presidential candidate Dr. Cornel West and black organizations and reparations leaders from all over. And they're looking to stand with these Muslims who are standing for reparations. Also, we have a national vote. We've heard a lot about identity today. Well, there's one vehicle that we are pushing, that we're advocating, that gets our people, black people throughout America, to accept and vote and consent to reparations, to consent to their identity, to consent to what kind of reparations they want, to consent to vote for their nation of their own. We have a vote going, a national election that is in progress right now. And so I would like to remind y'all to push that vote, to push our national plebiscite, and to push our vote wherever you can, because this is the way, this is the vehicle that we're using to capture, to contact, to connect with our people. So we said it before, and again, that number is 877-506-2184. When reparations, when the word reparations is text to 877-506-2184. When you text reparations to that number, that allows the people to choose reparations. It allows our people to choose their identity. It allows our people to exercise their right to choose what you have heard from this rostrum. So as I leave you, I want to thank the Honorable Silas Muhammad for standing up in the name of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad for over now 46 years. For 46 years, he has stood up. I don't know if I'm permitted to take your question, ma'am, but I guess. Yes, ma'am. Okay, 877-506-2184. Because the bottom line is, my sisters and brothers, to help the Honorable Silas Muhammad and to help the Afro-descendant nation, we have to turn into full-time organizers, full-time organizers. In order for us to establish identity, I love it. I love it. In order to establish identity, in order to push for reparations, we've got to organize like our life depends on it. And it does depend on it. I thank you for hearing me, and thank you for the great ministers and the Honorable Silas Muhammad. My name is Malik Shabazz, and I will continue to fight and serve on your behalf. Thank you so much.
Are there any questions from the audience concerning? Yes, yes, ma'am.
Yes. We are speaking about reparations. I am from Clarksdale, Mississippi.
Yes.
Slavery started.
Yes, ma'am.
They are holding us hostage by the cotton plantations in the Mississippi Delta, which it includes Arkansas, Louisiana, and Mississippi. Those three states are covered with cotton, and we don't need any reparations. Our cotton money for the last 400 years has been missing. We are Americans. We were not bought here on any ships. That is a lie. And all we have to do to take over our cotton plantations is to walk onto our cotton plantations, and we will take over our world. That cotton in the Mississippi Delta belongs to every indigenous person or black person on the planet.
Yes,
Bill
ma'am.
Clinton came to Clarksdale, Mississippi on July 6th of 1999 and put us back in slavery.
Yes, ma'am.
So we have reparations when we take over our cotton plantation. And if you look at that white horse spiritual account, there is no bottom. One account had 53 zeros.
Yes, ma'am.
So we have what we need to do to get freedom and everything.
Thank you, ma'am, for sharing that information. Are there any other questions? Well, at this time, I would like to. Yes, yes, sir, my brother. Wa alaikum salam.
Speak up, speak up. I got a question for you.
Yes, sir.
Basically, I got every answer for why we celebrate Ramadan in December and not in the month of May, or those types of questions. But my main question is that people ask me, what's the difference between Silas and Farrakhan? I can't answer that question because I wasn't raised in a Farrakhan house.
Yes, sir.
So if you would like to explain, or if the Savior would please explain their relationship and what's the keynote difference between Silas and Minister Louis Farrakhan, I would like to.
Thank you, sir.
I know the older, I know y'all do, but for the younger people, it's like, it's kind of hard for us to be, because when people ask, who's Silas? And I know who he is, but I can't explain why we follow Silas and not Farrakhan. So can you please break it down? Good question.
Yes, sir. During the time that the Lost Foundation of Islam fell away, Wallace D. Muhammad, the son of Messenger Elijah Muhammad, destroyed the Lost Foundation of Islam. It lay waste all across America and beyond. There was one man back in 1977 that had the courage to stand up and challenge Wallace D. Muhammad to a spiritual war to restore the Lost Foundation of Islam and put it back on the course that the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad had it on. 1977, I know because I was one of his first followers in Chicago before he had the Muhammad Speaks magazine. We were passing out flyers. 2 to 3 months after Silas Muhammad rose up and had Muslims standing up again, Minister Louis Farrakhan then had the courage to break away from Wallace. He didn't break away from Wallace to unite with his brother Silas Muhammad, even though Silas Muhammad tried to unite with him many a times. and it was rejected by Minister Louis Farrakhan. Minister Louis Farrakhan, now you asked me the question, so I'm finna give it to you. Minister Louis Farrakhan has diluted the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad by calling him the Messiah. And the Honorable Elijah Muhammad didn't say he was the Messiah. The Messiah is us. We listen and we are taught by the Honorable Silas Muhammad, who is teaching us the truth about Master Farad Muhammad and the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Silas Muhammad is for reparations and for leaving America, establishing our own government. The last I heard, the Minister Louis Farrakhan was trying to save America, a torchlight for America. Do you understand, sir? Do you think the youth will be able to understand that if you explain that to them? The distinction between the two men, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad gave him the last name Muhammad. That gave him the power to challenge Wallace D. Muhammad. Louis Farrakhan was still following Wallace at the time he stood up. The Nation of Islam was up and going. Here's a major distinction. Because Louis Farrakhan was the most popular one in the Nation of Islam, most of the Muslims around the nation went in his direction, unbeknownst of this man and his rise. There was a circle of Muslims that knew him, high-class Muslims in a particular circle that knew about Silas Muhammad, but the majority of Muslims knew about Louis Farrakhan. He was the most popular one. He was the national spokesman. So they all went with him. And now they're thinking and they're claiming that Minister Louis Farrakhan was the first to stand for the Nation of Islam when it was Silas Muhammad. Yes, sir.
During the first rise, the message was told the Savior in the world that the nation would fall and it would rise again and never fall no more. Keep your eyes on the one who stands first to protect the nation. That's right. We know that as this is. Mr. Muhammad, I was doing time with Brother Supreme Minister Boss Ali in Texas Fines. Another brother that he raised came to me. I was Orthodox Islam at the time. I had just begun Orthodox Islam. But I well knew early that the nation would be it. But I came to crossroads at the beginning. Minister Farrakhan, Brother Silas Muhammad. And Brother Yeen, he handed me a Muhammad Speaks, where he was breaking down the coming of Jesus. And Minister Farrakhan was also breaking down Jesus. And the brother told me, Minister said, I want you to read both of these. And whichever one you think is right, that's who you choose. And that was Mr. Silas Muhammad.
Thank you for that. And last but not least, brother, Minister Louis Farrakhan mixes Orthodox Islam with the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Silas Muhammad is not doing that. So there you have it right there. We don't mix Orthodox Islam with Islam, with the Islam that, the contemporary Islam that the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught. Yes, sir, brother.
I just want to say something to everybody here. It's just information. There's a saying that says, keep your enemies close. Keep the friends close, but your enemies closer. Everybody in here carries their enemy around with them everywhere they go and don't even realize it. And I'm going to tell you what I'm talking about. It's that wireless device called a cell phone. Yes, sir. And I'm going to tell you this. Yes, every conversation that you have on that device is being recorded. Every text that you send out on that device is being documented. And it's legal. And they can use every bit of it against you in court or anything you do illegal on it. I don't know if everybody ever seen this show called Cheaters. I don't know if you've ever seen it. You know,
Yes, sir.
you know on Cheaters, they blur people's faces.
Yes, sir.
They blur kids' faces in the background.
Yes, sir.
They blur people's tag numbers. And they blur business names in the background.
Yes, sir.
But But you know what they don't do? They play that cell phone conversation you had with somebody telling them a lie on the air, and you ain't got no control over to say, I don't want you to do that. They tell you that the prisoners are sneaking cell phones into the jail. That's a lie. They want them to-
Sir, I want to thank you. No, we,
One last comment.
okay.
It's legal for them to use anything they get off of you on that cell phone in court against you.
Yes, sir. And I want to thank you for that. But we have no fear because we're not doing anything illegal.
But it gives you the opportunity, but whatever you're doing, they can fight against it because they already know what you got planned.
Yes, sir. Well, they have the agents among us for that.
You're right. And it's that cell phone.
So, yes, ma'am.
Some of the young people, can you explain, you all use the word the first rise, and, a lot of people don't even understand what that means.
Yes, ma'am.
Can you explain that?
Yes, ma'am, I will. Thank you for that question. The first resurrection was when the most honorable Elijah Muhammad and Master Farad Muhammad departed. This man started teaching and educating and resurrecting black people all over the United States and beyond in the diaspora. That was the first resurrection. We rose up out of the dead. We rose up out of our conditions. In fact, this man, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, put the Nation of Islam, the first resurrection, on the world stage, where the world was beginning to behold the lost foundation of Islam. We had got recognition from the world. Then it fell because there was agents. Messenger Elijah Muhammad's own son, Wallace, the FBI was waiting for the Messenger Muhammad to pass away so they could put their man in place. And once Wallace got into office, what did he do? He took that flag down and put the American flag. That's a military move. He just took all of the seats out of the temple, destroyed the economic program, and had Muslims practicing Orthodox Muslim. All those Muslims who said, I love you, Honorable Elijah Muhammad, all praise be to Master Farad Muhammad, many of them were hypocrites. They failed the judgment. They failed the test. They was tested. That's the fall. The second, behold, Silas Muhammad. He is the second resurrection, the first one to rise up and give life to me, other brothers and sisters. All these people who were with Silas Muhammad now, they wasn't with him in the beginning. He gave life to them. He gave Minister Farrakhan the courage to stand up. So Muslim that's standing up, what is your source? What caused it? Silas Muhammad, the courage he had. If he didn't stand, Farrakhan would still be following Wallace, teaching Orthodox Islam. We want to let that be known. So this is the second resurrection, and there ain't gonna be no other ones. Because this time we're gonna rise and we ain't never falling again. And you know why we're not gonna fall again? Because we're not gonna be ruled and governed by one man. We got a government that's gonna control our destiny now. We got a constitution that is rooted in truth, fairness, freedom, justice, and equality. How can you fail? How can a government like that fail? So this is the second resurrection perpetually. No more falling. You're welcome, ma'am. Yes, sir.
Not getting any younger. I always start a little low. You'll hear me when I got to say what I got to say.
Excuse me, sir. Just relax. Yes, sir.
I'm 10 years your junior. I am 10 years your junior. I'm a decorated Vietnam veteran. When I was in Vietnam, one of the things that changed my life was Saigon Mary telling black men this message. Black man, why are you fighting for those who are fighting you? That man, never became a follower of the Nation of Islam, but that name. When he said do for self.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. So, even with all of our differences, we have a common enemy.
Indeed.
The devil is a devil to all of us.
Yes, sir.
I bear witness.
So why can't we, and not deny the legitimacy of our differences, but why can't we set those differences aside, unite, and kick that devil in the butt?
Let me answer that question for you. You may have a seat, sir. That's a very good question. This is what the Afro-descendant nation is doing right now. This is our president. She's meeting with all different kind of groups, whether they be Muslim or not, to bring about unity in the mind of all of our people. You just heard Silas Muhammad call for all of the educated black people to come together, to build a nation, to build the head of our nation, the brains of our nation, in order to save the lost youth who is lost out there. They are looking up to the leaders, those who are educated, to guide them out of this lost wilderness that we're in. So our leaders, our president, our ambassadors, our foreign ministers, they're doing the job that you just asked, and that's negotiating with other black leaders throughout all of America and possibly beyond to come together into the Afro-descendant nation as one nation. And this is the only way we're going to survive this. One nation, Afro-descendant. You can't get over it. You can't get under it. You can't get around it. It's here to stay. Please hear me. Hear me. There is no other way out unless you're going to serve the white man. Afro-descendant nation is here, and it ain't going nowhere. It will be here to eternity. Yes, sir, young.
Question is for Senator. I would like to shake your hand because the other day I was a little bit hesitant and I just wanted to know.
In due time. In due time. Now, we would like to ask, we have flowers for Captain Jahan for such a beautiful Savior's Day she put on. Zaima, the intelligence officer, will come forward and gives Captain Jahan her flowers. Where's the beloved captain, the GCC director? Behold, here she is right here. We thank you, Captain Jahan, sincerely. You did a wonderful job, indubitably. Now we would like to call forth our beloved sister, Lieutenant Aisha, who was extremely instrumental, put forth hard work to make this Savior Day a success. Thank you, Lieutenant Aisha. And keep up the good work. Don't stop. Now, brothers and sisters, I'd like to ask you all a question. Those of you who are not Muslims, if you want to be a Muslim, yes, we want you to be a Muslim. And we want you to be a Muslim because to us, we were Negroes, colored, African Americans. But we extracted ourselves from that and we became Muslim. And being a Muslim, we learned to love one another. Being a Muslim, we learned to get along with one another. Being a Muslim, we learned to speak the truth to one another and stop killing one another. We want you to be a Muslim because it's good for us and we want what's good for us for our people. But if you don't want to be a Muslim, we don't force anything upon you. At the very least, you could stand up this day and be an Afro-descendant.
That's right.
When you say that you're an Afro-descendant, you are declaring to the world that I'm here. I will not be overlooked anymore. I'm here. Are you afraid? Or are you ready to stand? Make that stand and declare yourself an Afro-descendant. Is there anyone here who want to legally become an Afro-descendant? Not a Muslim, but we want you to be a Muslim too. But if not Muslim, become an Afro-descendant. That's non-religious. Nationhood, government. Where are you? My brother, you? Right on, brother. That's courage. What's your name, my brother? Please stand, sir. What's your name? No, who invited you to the temple, sir? Oh, praises be. Well, welcome, my brother. And I want to give you a website to go to so that you may get more information about Afro-descendants. Yes, ma'am. Oh, praises be. That's what we're talking about. Like a snowball. The white man ain't gonna do nothing to you. Right on, brother. Right on. White man ain't gonna do nothing to you. He ain't do nothing to me. I ain't scared of him. I used to be. I thought the white man was all that. Who gonna beat him? Until I heard about this man, Silas Muhammad. Because I heard about him, I wasn't afraid of anyone. Truth, when you got it, you fear no one. Because you know God, truth is on your side, and you can't lose. We will be victorious. I want to give you a website to go to, allforreparations.com. Go to that website to get more information about reparation.org and go to allforreparations.org for Afro-descendants. Afrodescendant.org, pardon me. Go to those websites, afrodescendant.org and allforreparations.com, and get more information about .org. All right, these .org and .coms, man. All these dots. But I hope you got the message. Now, are there any more questions? If not, we'll move to our next phase. Well, I want to thank you once again for coming here. Now what we're about to ask you is this. We would like for you to support what we're doing by giving a donation. Now, brothers and sisters, I don't want you to be shy about giving a donation because you have always given to our cause. And if nobody's going to give to our cause, if you don't give to it, who will? So we want you to give whatever you can afford to give. Look at here. We're spending our money foolishly out in the Caucasian male world and don't give anything to the cause of our rise as a people. So today we're asking you to help us. The work that Mr. Silas Muhammad has done, it was your donations that helped us get him and his entourage to the United Nations. Yes, sir. No, we don't. That's a good question. No, don't worry. Get his number and everything. We'll come back for that because we're going to establish that cash out soon. You have cash out?
National Secretary.
The National Secretary. See the National Secretary, Jamil El-Shabazz. Where are you, National Secretary? Well, at any rate, when you go downstairs, see the National Secretary, Jamil El-Shabazz. For anyone that want to give a donation through the cash apps. And is there anyone in here who works with for the National Secretary? Okay.
You can also go to MuhammadPeaceNews.com, and there's a donate button there. You can click on that button, and you can donate once, or you can do donations that continue.
So MohammedSpeaksMeans.com, not org.
Okay, would you like to zell it to me? I'll take it and I'll put it in. Okay, brother, about to text it to you right now. We don't want to miss out on anything because we work hard.
My grandson set up my cash app in about 15 minutes. You can do it right now. You get one. Now I don't know how to do it. but I'm saying if you get one of them youngsters.
No, I hear you, brother. But we're about to take care of that right now with the Governor General Ishmael Abdul. Yes. Wa alaikum salam. Oh, okay, yes, ma'am. Ladies and gentlemen, here, you're talking about unity, you're talking about reparation, you're talking about bringing our people together. Here's something that is going on. You are cordially invited to attend a town hall meeting Saturday, March the 2nd, 2004. Topic of discussion, Afro-descendant identity, self-determination, reparations, and plebiscite vote. Questions and answers. The time is 1:30. The location is Muhammad's Temple, 3040 Camden Road. That's here. Atlanta, Georgia, 30318.
When is that?
That's going to be the 2nd of March at 1:30. So bring as many people as you can. We got to spread the word about Afro-descendant. Beat the drum like we used to do in Africa. So I want to thank everyone for participating, and we ask you to come back again, come to our Sunday meetings. Every Sunday between 2 to 4, we can delve more into other information that can help wake our people up, elevate our consciousness as a people, and give us some backbone. Thank you so much. So now we'll close out the meeting in prayer if there's no more announcements. Minister Ishmael, Governor General, you got that ready?
I sent it to him.
Right on. Right on. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to close out in a prayer. So would you please stand and join me in prayer?